Lead us in prayer.
Let us bow. Our Father God, this evening as we assemble ourselves here in your presence, we ask God now that you will look down from heaven and earth. Look upon us, O God, and let us find favor in your sight. Let your grace, O God, and mercy abide in this hour. O God, that our minds would come in one accord. God, we ask that you will somehow, Lord, assert your sovereignty, O God, upon our hearts and minds. That everything be said in decency and order. Let us, O God, not speak, O God, on emotions alone, but, Lord, speak from the heart. Let the words, O God, of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be accepted in our sight. Bless all of these that are here, O God. Strengthen them, O God, that even after the hour is over with, God, that we'll continue to look to the hills from which come our help. Bless us and keep us now, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Parker. Will you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Let me apologize for the size of the room. I didn't realize this many people were going to be here. We'll try to do better the next time. If you notice in your announcements, the Southern Terrace, Long Pine, and Lakeside areas of Princeville are now allowed to return home. So we're working very feverishly right now to get the rest of the town back as soon as possible, as soon as it is safe. I know a lot of people have been calling me and asking me about when we're going to go home. My only response is when it is safe. The governor went into our school today. He failed to wear a mask, and he came out feeling some type of way. His eyes were burning because of the air quality. When those issues are addressed, we will allow everybody back home, but not before. My main focus right now is to make sure that everybody is healthy and happy once they return. We want to make sure that the water and sewer are operating efficiently and effectively. When that takes place, we will make the announcement that everyone can go home, including your mayor. I'm ready to go home. I can't go home. When it is safe for us to go home, we will go home. Okay? At this time, we'll move to public comments. Ms. Honesty?
Well, my question was, and I guess you kind of addressed it, if your home is marked red, I understand that you cannot go in because it's inaccessible. And maybe we needed to have a FEMA representative here, because I'm not understanding if FEMA is saying that in order to do anything, they have to be able to go in to do a full assessment. So, I mean, we kind of need a time frame. I understand they being safe, but aren't they the ones that are marking the homes? Who's marking the homes? Is it FEMA?
I'm meeting with the FEMA representative tomorrow. And she's going to probably give me the details as to how that's going to work out. The houses are being marked by county officials, county inspectors. So that's who's doing it. Once FEMA gives me the details how you're going to be affected, or how they're going to let you go in your homes and ascertain the damage, then that's how we'll let you know. We're probably going to try to find a way to do it when you're displaced. If you happen to be displaced from your home, what we'll probably do, we'll be making announcements from the shelter, and we'll try to put out some more information via TV. Now, we also will use social media, but we do realize a lot of people in here do not use social media. So we're trying to find an effective way to notify everyone, so it's not just word of mouth.
And I think that's one of the frustrations is the communication, because there's so many different outlets. And I've gone to the town of Princeville's page, and it's not, I don't know if you have somebody that updates it on a regular, it doesn't seem to be so, but maybe, if we can get some kind of directive with that, you know, if we can go to that page for those of us that do have it. Because if that's the town of Princeville, so that's the page we should be able to go to get
I
updated
agree.
information.
We're having issues with that page. As soon as we get that page working correctly, we'll get it rectified. The mayor does have a Facebook account, so his information is accurate. So if you just will go there and bear with us until we can get the town website corrected, then you'll have that information. Like I said, I will make announcements at the shelter and also public announcements via TV outlets.
And I know I only have 2 minutes, but once you talk with the FEMA representative, it would be great if you can have something outlined with those color codes, because you just saying that, well, not you, but just being said that it's red, you can't go in. I need more than that.
Red, you can't go in. Red, you can't go in. You per se can't go in. When we have the FEMA representative set up, they will be able to go in and make the assessment. They'll probably will provide you with some type of breathing apparatus. I'm not sure, I don't want to say, but that's what's going to happen. When it's yellow, you can go in your house and retrieve your goods, but you can't stay. Usually it's something like if it's in the air conditioning, they don't want you in it. Now also you may have issues where like just your mode of getting in and out of the house may be hampered, and that may be a yellow too, and that may be easily fixed. So you just have to be able to read the placard, and then of course the green placard means you're okay.
Is that happening now? People that are marked with yellow, are they able to go in?
You can't go in now.
Oh.
It's until you have to wait until we clear it. We're working feverishly to get the town clear so you can go in. Like the mayor said, we're not trying to let anybody back until it's safe.
And my last statement or question, I'm the magistrate here for Edgecombe, and I get a lot of people come to my office to ask about permits. So I don't know if anyone from the sheriff's department
Just direct them to the sheriff's department or either the EOC. They know. The EOC is 252-824-0105. They enter that number and they have all the permits and things that you're inquiring about.
Okay, and it's, I guess during a certain time, because someone came to my office a few minutes before I left, and there was no one at the sheriff's department. I went around there to try to help them. But I know that's not your issue. I'm just letting, so because people are calling me or inboxing me asking about permits, and I do direct them to the sheriff's department. But there again, communication. Some people with yellow don't know if some are being able to, or have been told that they can go and meet people. When they get there, they're stopped saying that they can't. They gotta have a permit, although the adjuster may be at the house. So those are just some of the concerns that I've got.
Right.
That's it.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I just got word from the people in the hall, they can't hear out there. So if you ask everybody to speak through the mic,
We have a mic right here.
and that would be possible.
Thank you, Reverend Walton. I understand that our senator is in the hallway. Please ask her to come in. Senator Smith-Ingram. Mr. Bridges,
Yeah, do I have to come all the way up there to talk?
as long as we can hear you.
That's probably the best in the hall.
The mic is coming. The mic is coming.
You don't have an agenda tonight. You don't have agenda. Normally, it's agenda normally at the regular meeting. So since you don't have an agenda, is anything on the order section we don't see as a citizen? I'm ready to go home like you. So I wanted to see, can you shoot down some of these rumors that I'm hearing about the Bible? If that's not on the agenda tonight, I want to say something about it. And I'm patient. I'm willing to wait to find out about it, FEMA buying out, and you getting the SBA loan, all this.
There is no buyout.
All this kind of crap. Thank you.
There is no buyout.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, do I buy?
Ms. Wilkins, Ms. Emma Wilkins.
Okay, you know, I had that conversation with you on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. But I'm saying, Well, I got an insurance adjuster supposed to meet me tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And they telling him that he could go to the sheriff's department or whatever and get a paper and he can go in. Cause I can't do anything until that adjuster go in and, adjust my, stuff. But, now y'all saying I can't go in even with my insurance adjuster, cause they saying that FEMA, whether you have FEMA, flood insurance, life insurance, or whatever, FEMA ain't gonna do but so much.
Right.
But I'm saying if I can go in with my adjuster and can salvage some of my clothes, just my clothes, I just want a few clothes, can he go in if he get this permit?
No, we're not allowing anyone in. The only permits that we really allow were like
Can you
business.
speak in the mic, because people in the hallway cannot hear you.
The only ones, you hear me? Do y'all hear me? The only ones allowed in were the business owners, and that was because we had a hazmat issue. We had a fire out there, and it was a hazmat safety issue. So as a precaution, we let all those business owners go in there and secure their properties to make sure that if there was another fire, you wouldn't have a hazmat issue. That's something that would possibly affect air quality. So we had to get that under control. So we're in the final stages of closing down the inspection for the entire town. So if you just give us the time we need, I know you want to get back in the house. I remember Hugo, y'all probably weren't affected by that, but Hugo, we stayed out of our house, and I know what that was like. I wanted to get on my own bed in my own clothes, and I was 16. You know how you worry about how you look when you were 16. So everybody's trying to get you in your homes or back to some sort of normalcy. We just ask that you work with us. We do not want to let you back in, and then you get sick, or your grandmother gets sick, or your child gets sick, and then you turn right around and tell us you knew stuff was in there, and we let you in there. So just work with us, and we'll work with you now. There are some adjusters that are trying to get in, but we're not letting the adjusters in either because we're so close to getting this done. And we just don't want. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't have to do my 2 minutes, but when y'all worrying about us now, if y'all gonna worry about us when we get back in there and start getting on high water bills and this and that and the other. Y'all concerned about us then.
The high water bills, I won't get into it because everybody know I have a water background, but you have a surcharge. You don't own your own water. You do not own your own sewer. So the water plant that comes from Tarboro, the water plant that comes from Rocky Mount, and the wastewater plant from Tarboro gives us those rates. So you have to pay those rates to pay that surcharge. Now, if y'all want to get your own wastewater plant, let's talk about it. But let's recover first.
Right.
Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's get back in our homes. Let's be safe. And yes, we are worrying about you. We're worrying about you now. We're worrying about you when you get in the house. And we're gonna worry about it after you and worry about you from the here on after that. So I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkins. Ms. Perkins.
Good evening. My name is Delia Perkins, 123 Street, North Carolina. I was sort of here tonight to address the rumors that's been running rapid around town. Everywhere I've been today, I've got stopped about the buyout. And I was going to address that issue today. I understand where you all stand. I've been there, so I understand where you stand. But there are two things I would like. I would like for the mayor and the manager, if you inbox me your cell phone numbers so that I might, there's some personal questions I would like to ask the two of you. So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. And I would appreciate, as soon as possible, my husband is displaced and he's ill and he's ready to go home. And if you know anything about people that are ill and they're out of their comfort zone, So I would appreciate, I understand what you're going through, and I applaud you for what you've been doing. But as soon as possible, would you give us the okay so those inspectors, I have 3 inspectors that need to go to my house. My brother is waiting to come down when I can bring those inspectors to my house. So I'm dealing with double things, with my husband being ill and having to deal with all of these things. So if you and the manager would inbox me, your cell phone number,
It's coming.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Mr. Sherrod. Calvin Sherrod.
Captain Geralds, Mayor, I think this right here should have been postponed to a later date for health risk. That hall is full. If somebody would cause a fire, them people will stampede and kill everybody in here. Edgecombe County Sheriff should look at it. That's a hazard. And most people want to speak, but they can't. This should be postponed to a later date. If we had to rent a school or church, and more people out there want to speak, it means if these people concerned, they underwater, they under stress. I see they join on, they cut me down in 2 minutes. Well, I'll go ahead and do my thing right here. I would think the water bill and the light should be waived. Because we've been out 8 to 9 days, and we're going to get a bill just like we ain't never been nowhere. I think the town manager's board should check with the Edgecombe Electric, the county, and get that waived and let FEMA pay for it. But you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Okay, that's one. Okay, now I think we should, town manager should check with the county or someone and start spraying for these mosquitoes. Yeah. These mosquitoes are very large, and we need to start spraying the town of Princeville because there's more water we can shake a stick at. Now, town manager had told me they got $20 million for to do the dike, but I want to know how much money we have for the build town of Princeville back. That's our main resource. And we ain't going nowhere. I ain't planning on going nowhere. But I ain't kicking on one who do want to go somewhere. And I want to know how much federal money we got for the build our town back. Because they're really important to me. And another thing, we should keep this money, majority of this money in the town of Princeville. The last time in 1999, the county took so much of the money, and I'm quite sure Talbot gonna get most of the money here, because Talbot got damn it too. But town of Princeville should have their hand out with the first time they go around. And we should get most of this money to build this town back, because this is a one-time thing. And we're not gonna, the government not gonna keep on bailing Princeville out. We need to build it up with this money, and take majority of this money and build this town. And stop jawbone and jawbone and jawbone. We need to get down and do the thing. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we approve the consent agenda. Are there questions? All in favor, use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Next, we move to the new business to discuss the proposed changes to the town R1 ordinance to allow pre-existing conditions related to modular homes. Mr. Manager?
Yes,
Turn it off. Turn it right off.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
the consent agenda, I'm assuming is where you hear from the public?
No, sir. That's the minutes.
Yeah, so is the public input open?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There was a sign-up sheet for the public comments. Did you need to talk?
I would appreciate it.
Okay, go ahead. Reverend Walker.
Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate that, and to all the board members, I come to you as a lifetime resident of Edgecombe County. Also the first black county commissioner, I served here 12 years. Princeville is clearly a community that I love and I'm concerned about. And I realize that there are some political and personal, emotional reasons about what we're dealing with. But it seems to me that we're missing a great opportunity to write our history. And when history look back at decisions that are being made as relate to the flood and what these very fine people are going through, I think we're going to be embarrassed to tell our children about it. We've had some, I'm not an elected official now and I'm not running for anything. I do have a very strong relationship with national leaders. And what I'm hearing on the national level that we still have, even now, the kind of support that will allow Princeville to take a lemon and make tremendous lemonade out of it.
Amen.
It would take an open study involving the people. We're here dealing with a flood today. What did you say we won't be dealing with another flood next year? We have some peculiar issues. We have a river that's not going anywhere. We have Tarbor that's sensitive to what a dike would do to them. My dream is that we will end a discussion. It doesn't have to be done hastily, but we will end a discussion about finding the federal government helping us to find land on a higher ground and take advantage of the funds that are available to build the most beautiful community that would be by and large paid for. Most beautiful community called Princeville or the new Princeville. And not keep going back down in that hole and being flooded out. I can imagine every time it rains, it's significant. These people can't sleep at night. It doesn't make good sense. The whole nation is laughing at us. It's the oldest town, and we're not going to lose that. In fact, anything, we can magnify that. Oldest city by black people, we can make a proud community. We can increase our tourism to go through that community and see it. And then make one of the best parks in that area with honoring everybody that has contributed to it. And live on as peaceful people. That's what I've come today. I heard my friend Bridges say a while ago. He said, I want to know. And Brother Bridges, I'm saying, we've seen a lot of history. I want to know if you're talking about Bow, because I'm ready to bow. And I don't know what politically, I'm finished, what politically some people are talking about, but I really need to say, in all honesty, it doesn't make any sense for this community to keep going through what they're going through. But we've got people with FEMA, with the government. Our president has said that he's ready to get in there and help this community. And so that's why I'm here.
The next on the agenda is the discussion about the ordinance.
Right. Good evening, Mayor, Town Council.
You can use this right here.
Citizens of town of Princeville. I'm bringing before the board a recommendation to do a resolution to make modification to the R1 ordinance. Basically, the R1 ordinance doesn't allow for modular homes to come back into the town. We do want people to come back into the town of Princeville. So instead of having to build a stick-built home, which may be a burden as far as cost, I'm recommending that we do some sort of resolution to the ordinance to allow that. Now, you can also do a modification, but I would rather do it like a resolution just to address this storm, just to address the need of this storm. So,
Is there a motion to pass a resolution to make an exception to this ordinance regarding R1 building codes related to single-family dwellings?
let me create a resolution. Because once create, that's my call.
A motion to create a resolution. It's been properly moved and second that we make a motion to create a resolution to make an exception to this ordinance regarding R1 building codes related to single-family dwellings. Are there questions? All in favor, use the voting sign aye.
Let me ask one question. We are going to make sure that the planning zoning, we're going to make sure that the guys in the planning zoning come into this meeting. We're going to try to have a pretty much a special call meeting for the planning.
Well, that's how that would work. We'd have to work with the county inspector's office, because that's who passes our buildings now. So we would have to talk to them, and then once we talk to them and construct the ordinance, then it would have to go through the attorney for the legal proofing. And then once he proves it, I'll bring it back to the board. We're trying to expedite the situation, so when FEMA starts to recover, we won't have to deal with this. We can just recover, and people can get back in their homes.
Other questions? All opposed? No questions at this time, please. No questions at this time. Okay? Okay, the motion on the floor to create a resolution to make an exception to this ordinance regarding R1 building codes related to single-family dwellings. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you much. Next on the agenda is the logistics for monetary donations. Mr. Manager?
Yes, we've begun to start receiving monetary donations or inquiries about monetary donations. The town currently is not taking monetary donations. We're trying to streamline that process. So what we've done is that we've partnered with the North Carolina Community Foundation. That's the foundation that gave us a $4,000 grant for the jungle gym. So what they're going to do is that they're going to take the monies in for us. So that's not coming into town hands. They're going to take the money in for us. And what we wanted to do was take that money and apply it to the granting process that we have for the water and sewer bills, to try to build that. Now, I don't know how much is coming in. I've heard of all the astronomical numbers that have come in regarding the last flood in '99. I'm saying if we reach over $100,000, I don't know if we will or not, but if we reach over $100,000, then what I'm saying is 25% of whatever we bring in, that should also be that should actually come back for the town to build the infrastructure for the town. So we got sidewalks and roads. So that's what I'm proposing.
Please hold down the noise, please.
But I think that's something for a later meeting, so we can probably discuss. But right now, I just want to approve the North Carolina Community Foundation. I want to give them the ability to start receiving the donations, so those go directly to Princeville.
Is there a motion to have North Carolina Community Foundation manage the intaking of donation funds to the town and have the county of Edgecombe manage distribution of funds, or have some other organization to be named later to do so? Been properly moved in second, they will allow the North Carolina Community Foundation to manage the taking of donation funds for the town and have the county of Edgecombe manage distribution of the funds, or have some other organization to be named later to do so. Other questions?
Mayor,
Yes.
in the process of doing this, can we have someone from this board sitting on that committee or and being involved with that?
Of course, yes. Of course. All in favor, use the vote sign aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you much. Next item on the agenda is increasing the base flood elevation by 2 feet. Mr. Manager?
Yes, this is for all new construction. Now, this will not deal with the pre-existing construction. As we've mentioned in the R1, this is like when we have residents to come in and build a new house, stick-built house from the ground up. I'm recommending that we have them build 2 feet above the base flood elevation. The base flood elevation will be set by a surveyor from the county inspector's office. So that's just something we're gonna have to add, that we just have a higher floodplain for your house.
Is there a motion to have this requirement placed in the town ordinance? Been properly moved in second that we have this requirement placed in the town ordinance. Are there questions? All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Okay, town manager's report. Okay.
Yes, town manager's report. We had a scheduled 401k meeting, 457 savings plan meeting scheduled for October 10th. Of course, that was canceled due to the flood. We're in the process of rescheduling that. Now, I don't know when that's going to be, because now we're having to gut out the town hall. But as soon as we can work out those logistics, I'll let the board know. I'd like to introduce our new town attorney, Miss Takia Lewis. She has a very hollow background, I think, and I think she'll do us well. I can't wait to work with her regarding this new ordinance. Our senior citizen meals program, that program has been put on hold, but we are going to move forward with the senior citizen feeding program. So, I'm sorry, we are going to move forward with that feeding program. So, what we're going to do is that anybody interested in the senior citizen program, or they have somebody participating, please call the EOC and leave your name and number. That they will get that information to me. The EOC number is 824. Let me start again. 252-824-0108. So make that call and let us know. And the town, I probably need to update. The town hall was operating out of the Emergency Operations Center. Now we're currently operating out of the old DSS building. I don't have that address. I'm kind of new to this area myself, but I think they said it was 3006. I think that's what they said it was. But if not, just Google search the old DSS building in Tarboro.
The old health department. Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Attorney Lewis, welcome aboard. Do you have anything to add?
No, not at this time.
Thank you very much for being here. At this time, we have a Princeville Volunteer Fire Department report. Chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Not gonna be before you long.
Turn it on.
Sorry. So what now?
You're addressing the board.
Not gonna be before you all long. Here we go.
Just speak loud.
Just going to give you guys a brief report. We ran over, since October 8th, about 47 water rescue missions. Just this past October 15th, through conducting our hazmat mitigation protocol. That's standard for us. Anytime that there's a significant amount of water that comes into town, your LP gas tanks and other utilities become potential life hazards for you all. I have gotten support from the state fire marshal's office because my department was obliterated. We lost 4 out of the 5 trucks that we have. I got 3 of them in the shop right now. And right now, I don't have any personal protective equipment for my men to wear if we get a fire. So right now, we're operating with the grace of resources that are here from Cook County. So another thing that we're doing, we're actually marking off areas of concern. October 15th, they discovered a hazmat incident. Basically, it was some environmental concerns with the chemicals that Southern States store at the facility. And there was a significant amount of water that displaced those containers that were in there. And so care was taken to get a regional hazmat response team to Princeville, and I coordinated efforts to mitigate the incident. There were some leaking tanks, and information was sent downriver to the other communities. At this time, all of the hazard mitigation from the fire department's end has been completed, and at some point I will tender that report to the town administration. We don't have anything to do with as far as the marking of the residents and so forth, but definitely we know as the power comes on to these locations, we definitely want you all to be present because we know that there's going to be a significant amount of possible risk that as far as from fire, electrical risk, and we have to be able to respond accordingly. Despite the fact that my building was underwater and lost all of our equipment, I still have to provide you all fire protection, not only for Princeville, but our responding fire district. And so at this point, we're looking for some operating capital, and that's something that I spoke with preliminary with the town manager earlier about getting a disbursement for November. Go ahead and get it this month, because at this point, we're in a dire situation, and without the fire department operating, nobody can come to Princeville. The town can't operate without fire protection. And so in order for you all in the town to begin its recovery, the fire department is going to have to be able to maintain, we're going to have to recover, we're going to have to get some gear from somewhere, and we're going to have to be able to, all of our people are displaced, some of them in shelters, and at this point, I don't really have any firefighters around. So without the resources that we got here, we're not going to be able to provide you all fire protection until we get that mitigated. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to work through. I have worked tirelessly since October 8th. I haven't stopped yet, and I'm going to continue to do all the forms, the filing, all the legal ways that has to be done to procure some type of a relief for us. And so at this point, without the assistance of other fire departments, we cannot operate because we don't have the operational capability. So my main concern at this point is getting some operating capital so we can continue to provide our services. We have to have logistic support for the people. Right now we're operating out of a tent in front of Rogers' store. We have no power, so we have a generator that we have to keep filling up so we can have power. I have a telephone line down there, I secured. And we have to provide meals, shelter, and food for the people that come in. So at this point, we're in a desperate situation. And I understand that you all want to build Princeville great, but if we don't get ourselves together, there ain't gonna be a Princeville. So we got a GoFundMe page. We hadn't had that many hits, and whatever the insurance company don't cover, we're gonna be stuck holding the bag. I lost a lot of expensive equipment, like breathing equipment, and so we're looking for some support. We're looking for some communication lines, and we just basically looking to be able to respond so we can rebuild. But right now we don't have anywhere to go, so I don't know how long this tent situation is going to last for us, but that's just not acceptable for me, and it's not acceptable. I put a lot of stress on my men. They're not able to stand in the line to get resources, to get water, to get food. I expect them to come and report for duty and continue our plans that we have to do as far as to get you all safe. But the only thing I have, we've been getting a lot of calls about sanitation, trash. And I don't know anything about that. My job is to handle the fire service, but if I can tender a humble suggestion, I would say I would get waste management industry to come in and pick up all the trash in Princeville, and then any of the dead animals, they can get hit on to secure them as well. Well, we've been getting a lot of calls about that, and I don't know what to tell people, but that's something that I think that needs to be facilitated. But I don't have a physical report to give you, but that's pretty much kind of completes everything I can give you today.
Thank you very much, Chief. We'd like to thank our Senator Erica Smith-Ingram for being here. Do you have anything to add?
Just a few
Okay.
words. First, I definitely want to bid each and every one of you a very good evening. And when I was here on Friday and had an opportunity to visit the shelter, and I was there to witness the announcement from Mr. Gerald that some people would be able to go in and find out the condition of their homes. I want you to know that Representative Willingham and I are working hand in hand, and we are advocating on your behalf. I don't feel that Chief Powell should be left holding the bag. I don't feel that Princeville should be left wondering when can we go back in town, because we don't have the resources, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have a fire department with the equipment that they need to be able to protect us. So what we are doing, the two of us, is we are working with our leadership. If you look back into the annals of history in North Carolina, 17 years ago when we were hit by Hurricane Floyd, the North Carolina General Assembly appropriated $836 million in flood recovery resources. This was above what FEMA did. FEMA has a responsibility, but we also have a responsibility in North Carolina. You work hard, I work hard, we pay our taxes, and our tax dollars should work for us. We are pushing for a special call session. We had a special call session to deal with HB2. We had a special call session to deal with redistricting. When we had Floyd in 1999, there was a special call session to write a bill for Floyd recovery. So your representatives, I want you to hear it from me. We are working very hard to make sure that we can converse and parlay the situation in Raleigh and urge our colleagues and our leadership to call us forward. Now, we know that it could not be immediate because the analysis had to be done, the assessments have to be done, we have to count up the costs. So in doing that, we anticipate hopefully going into session sometime maybe hopefully before the end of November, definitely in December, which is what was done the last time. So on your behalf, I do want you to know we're working very hard, and the challenge for us is to make it imperative. There is definitely, there are a lot of infrastructure things that need to be analyzed. It makes no sense that we're experiencing these types of flooding in our communities, and it's the same communities that are in the geographic low-lying plains. And so when we look at environmental justice, that's where we ask the question, our communities, where are we found? And whether we decide to build on higher ground or build where we are, we have to do it together. And I leave you in the spirit of the prophet Nehemiah 4:6. And so we rebuilt the wall, for all the people had a mind to work. I join you hand in hand, and we are working with the mayor, with your town manager, and I want you to join me in giving them and all of our rescue people, our National Guard, please join me in giving them a hand for protecting us and doing their best to serve us in a very difficult time, if you would. Outstanding work, and I commend you for your patience and your strength, and together we will get through this.
Thank you, Senator. Comments from the board?
Good evening. Good evening. Once again, I would like to say thank each and every one for coming out. Thank you for being patient with us. And as the senator said, we are going to work together. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank each of you for coming out tonight. And we do hear your concerns, and together we will get through this.
I too would like to thank all of you all for coming out tonight. And I'm a firm believer that just your being here says to us that we are concerned about Princeville. And we too are concerned about Princeville. Someone said to me the other day in a kind of joking way, and they were saying that, what you guys, you VIP people, what you are doing. I said, no, we are not the VIP. The citizens of Princeville are the VIP. We are the servants. And we are here to serve you. And we are asking for your prayers that we will lead you in the way that you will benefit from it. Because when I say you, that includes all of us. We are in this together. We want to make Princeville great again. Whatever it takes or whichever way it goes, that's what we are here to do. So we ask again that you know that we hear your heart. We feel your pain. We understand where you are. But as Ms. Ingram said, we have to do this together. We need to dispel all the rumors, all the lies. We don't want to be a part of that. I ask myself sometimes, who told the first lie? We need to get to those ones that tell the first lie. If you don't entertain it, it won't go any further. Dispel it, squash it. We are here to serve you. We are the servants that you elected. And we want to make the best of a bad situation. God bless you.
Good afternoon. Echoing these sentiments and statements. I stopped by FEMA today, and I want to find out how many people have registered with FEMA. You must follow up. The manager stated this afternoon that if you have registered with FEMA, you must come out to the mall and proceed further to the next step. Don't think best by registering online or telephone that it's over with. You have got to come in there and be processed further to expedite your claim or whatever is due you. And I want to thank you too for coming out tonight. And this is just the beginning of us realizing that it's time for you, the people, to tell us what you want. Not us to tell you what we want. You must tell us this time what you want, and we will get our heads together and answer your call to your judgment and your decisions. I thank you very much.
I just want to pass on some more information. This is from Senator Ingram's email. The disaster unemployment assistance. If you are unemployed because of the flood, please call 1-866-795-8877. Again, if you're unemployed because of the flood, please call 1-866-795-8877. If you have a homeowner's insurance claim, it's 1-855-408-1212. And again, that's for homeowner's insurance. 1-855-408-1212. Now, I've heard early in this process that some of the hotels were increasing the rates. If you have a problem with that, the number to call is 877-566-7226. Again, that's price gouging. 877-566-7226. Now, Commissioner Bullock talked about the FEMA Center. This is what I have from the email also. Visiting with a recovery specialist is not a requirement for survivors who want disaster assistance. But the centers are an excellent way for people to get answers to their questions about disaster aid and registration assistance. Some of the services include the status of your FEMA application. If you already applied and you want to know what the status is, you go there. Disaster recovery guidance. Clarification of any written correspondence received. Once you apply, you're going to receive some information in the mail. If you have any questions about that, go there. They'll assist you with further information. Housing assistance and rental resource information. Housing assistance and rental resources information. Answers to questions, resolutions to problems, and referrals to agencies that may provide further assistance. I received several calls about people worried about where they're going to live. There will be housing for everyone affected by the flood. Don't worry about housing. There will be housing for everyone affected by the flood. Now, when a disaster recovery center, you will need to take your social security number, address of the damaged home or apartment, description of the damage, information about insurance coverage, a current contact telephone number, an address where you can receive mail, bank account, and routing numbers if you want direct deposit. When you go back to your homes, make sure you'll be aware of scams. Please do not give all of your money to anyone until all of your repairs are done to your satisfaction. If they ask for half, that may be legitimate, but please call the Better Business Bureau before you give anybody your money to check on the status of those individuals. There are scammers out here that are looking to take advantage of you. If you know senior citizens, please take care of our senior citizens. People don't care whether you're old or young, they're looking for the green money. Hopefully everyone's already registered. If not, that's disasterassistance.gov. Disasterassistance.gov or 1-800-621-3362. 1-800-621-3362. We're still in the state of emergency in the town of Princeville, and we'll be that way until we all get back home, which hopefully is very soon. We want to certainly thank the National Guard for pumping out 1.6 million gallons of water per hour for about 7 days to get the streets of Princeville dry at this time. If you know anybody who is displaced right now, let them know that there's still shelter at Tarboro Edgecombe Academy, the old Tarboro Edgecombe Academy, which is located at 500 Davis Drive, and it's the old Tarboro Edgecombe Academy, 500 Davis Drive. Don't forget, early voting is in effect now. Early voting is in effect now. You can vote at any location you so desire. Now, when you receive your package in the mail from FEMA, there may be an SBA application in the package. You may not want a loan, but you still have to fill out the application. If they offer you the loan, you always can decline it. But if that's part of the process, do not just throw it away because you will not complete the process without it. I did speak with the governor today about food stamp assistance for Edgecombe County. We know that about 20 counties has been approved. Edgecombe County was not one of those 20 counties because of some government regulation. However, he did make phone calls to the federal government today to request food stamp assistance. I just left Senator Burr. He informed me that the governor did, in fact, make contact with federal government about food stamp registration. Not sure of the answer yet. Hopefully we'll have more answers tomorrow. Distribution centers are located at St. Paul's on Emerson Street in East Tarboro and Michael's Angels, downtown Tarboro. We have a trailers loads of items coming in just for Princeville citizens. We're going to set up a donation center and a distribution center very shortly. We got a list of volunteers already. If you'd like to volunteer, please let us know. Do we have an idea of where it's going to be located yet?
We're thinking in the Long Pine area. We're getting confirmation from the sheriff department about the logistics of being able to protect it. So that's what we're doing.
Got a call today from Lowe's. They have 2 tractor trailer loads of goods right now. I received a load of goods from Roanoke Rapids on Saturday from a motorcycle club. People have been calling from all around the United States of America, offering their assistance. We have funds coming in. We're going to decide what's best for the citizens and the town of Princeville to do with those funds very shortly. And when people talk about the buyout to me, I want to know why, when we do research and we look about the 10 U.S. cities where flooding is much more common, and Princeville is not one of those cities. If they're going to move those cities like Miami and New Orleans and the coast, when they flood constantly, when they flood day after day, year after year, if they're going to relocate them, then we'll consider relocating Princeville. Again, I would like to thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to serve as your mayor. Again, my most important function was to save life during this disaster. The second most important function is to make sure when we go back in, we're safe. And when we get there, we're going to be happy. And we're going to rebuild the town of Princeville, and we're going to make it better than it ever has been before. But again, we need each and every one of you working together for the one common cause, to make sure that we leave our children a legacy that they will be proud of. Thank you very much for coming. Is there a motion to adjourn? A second.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we adjourn. Are there questions? Not from the audience, please. I'll answer your question when I get back there. Just stay right there. Thank you. Individual questions for me, please come to the front.
The question everyone wants to know is when the is actually
I work with myself. I'm out. Been outside. Sometimes they've been out. But I tell people all the time the most important thing is to be concerned. They're going to be safe. That's my job. They're not safe. The government went into the school and said he came out with eyes itching, not feeling well. You can tell us that happens to our citizens.
Any estimate on when are we talking weeks?
No. Hopefully days.
Just days. So you think by this time next week you should be able to return?
I hope so.
I heard Senator Ingram was talking about a special session. Are you calling for a special session as well? Is that something you'd like to see?
I would love to see it. I thank the governor for coming down this morning, and I just left Senator Burr, he was here. All of them offering positive support, and not only them, but the people from around the United States that are offering their assistance and understanding what we're going through and how important Princeville is, not only with Princeville, not only Edgecombe County, but North Carolina and Eastern North Carolina, because we are struggling in Eastern North Carolina. If we do the plan that we have in Edgecombe County and Princeville, Eastern North Carolina will benefit. And that's what we're all about, making sure that our people who are struggling in Eastern North Carolina have something to be proud of, have some place to go and enjoy life, and that's what we're all about.
Did the governor give any indication that he did?
He did not. I was not aware of the special session until the session.
What's the most urgent
The most urgent need right now is to get them out of those shelters. They want to get some sense of normalcy. Hopefully by the time they make the announcement that we can go back, of course everybody would not be able to go back to their home, but we're trying to find someplace close for them to be, for them to visit their home at least. And by the time the volunteers come in to make the cleaning or whatever they have to do to get them right where they belong, they'll be able to go back home. Don't be frustrated, because we are a resilient people. Just remember back in 1865 when our forefathers came over the Tar River Bridge with absolutely nothing. It was an absolute swamp. but they build a city from what they had in their heads and their hands. And if they did it back in 1865 and 1885, certainly we can do it here in 2016. So we looking forward to all the positive things that are coming. We have some great plans in place. We just have to exercise those plans right now. It's off the table. We love who we are. We love who we are. We want to make sure we do what we need to do to make it the best it ever can be. Yes, there will be. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to get with the board. Hopefully it will be by next Monday. And we're going to have a bigger facility. I had the Tarver High School available, but we thought it would be better to move it from place to place. But I see that was a good decision because it's too small here. People still hurt, people still concerned, people have a lot of questions. So we want to make sure all those questions. Not only this time of Christmas, thank you. The whole Eastern part.
Everybody.